How can we make sure our audience can understand the information we're giving them? One of the ways we can do that is by making sure we organize our information in a logical, easy to understand way. In this video, we're going to look at one organizational method called pyramid structure. Planning and organizing are key strategies for successful communication. By planning ahead, we make sure that we can meet the needs of our audience and our own needs, and by organizing our communication, we ensure our audience understands what we need. In this video, we'll focus on organizing. Specifically, we'll look at the pyramid structure as an organizational method. Pyramid structure has 4 parts: overview, context, details, and outcome. The overview is the key details. In longer documents, this is sometimes a summary. Our context is key background information that will help your audience understand your main message. The details is that main message that you're trying to get across. The outcome, sometimes also called the next step, result, or action, is what happens next or what your audience needs to do. Let's take a look at an example. In this, we'll pretend that you're a student who needs to ask for an extension on one of your assignments. So here I've got a little blank pyramid that we can add information to. We're going to skip the overview for now. That part is usually written last because it pulls key information from the other sections. Writing our context is often easier to do after you've already written your key details. So let's start with our details, the main message. It's sometimes easier to start here as well because that's what's most on your mind. Our main message: I need an extension. The scenario didn't say how long or what the assignment is for, so we're going to make that up. I need an extension on my progress report, which is due on Sunday, so my extension is until Tuesday, 2 days. Next, let's look at our outcome. Our outcome in this case is an action, which is to ask our instructor if they approve and to let us know if they approve. Now we're going to go back up to our context. We know what our main message is, we know what the outcome is, so what does the instructor need to know in order to make this happen? In this case, they need to know why I'm asking for this extension. We need to convince the instructor in some way or provide them with enough detail to make sure they understand why you're asking for this. The instructor also needs to know who I am, which course am I in, what section. Instructors have a lot of different classes, a lot of different students, so part of knowing our audience is understanding what types of information they're going to need in this case. Now that we have the main body of our message mapped out, we can do our overview or our summary. Key details in this case: 2-day extension on the progress report email. That's going to be our overview, and that's how we're going to start our communication. Now that our pyramid is filled in, let's take a look at what this request might actually look like. I've written up this request as an email. I chose an email because it is a little bit more formal, and it's a good way to keep a written record of a request like this. I recommend pausing at this point so that you can read through the email and then come back to it so that we can go through it. Now that you've gone through the email, let's take a look at what the contents are and how that works for our pyramid structure. We have some standard email etiquette items here. Our subject line has the course, the section number, and what this email is about. And at the end, we have a standard email signature with my name and my program, and again, my section. If you remember, this is also part of our context. Who am I? So we've already got our context partly covered just by doing standard email etiquette things. Next, we have our greetings, both our opening and our closing. Standard good morning and thank you at the end. We have our overview. That's how we start our email. The basic information: 2-day extension on the progress report email. Very, very simple. Lets your instructor know right up front what you're asking for. The rest is just providing more detail. We have our context here as well. So we've already covered the who in our subject line and in our signature. This is the why. I got a little behind on my coursework. We're providing a rationale for why I need this extension and why I should be granted it. Next, we have our actual details. more specific information than what was in our overview. I need an extension until Tuesday on this assignment. That assignment is due on Sunday. So giving the instructor enough detail to actually make this decision. I also reiterate part of my context here. I provide that why again, but I phrased it in a way that is telling my instructor that I'm providing a solution as well to this problem. That's why it's part of the details again, because it is part of that main message. I'm requesting this extension. I got behind in my coursework, but this extension is going to allow me to get caught up again. We finish with our outcome. Let me know whether or not this is okay. Very, very simple statement that tells your instructor that you need a response to it. So that's our email. Very simple email, mapped out very simply using pyramid structure. In some cases, this could be all one paragraph. It doesn't need to be one paragraph per section of pyramid structure, but it worked out nicely in this case. Using pyramid structure helps you to structure your content in a way that flows from one piece of information to the next and allows your audience to more clearly understand what you're looking for. By using standard formatting techniques like this and standard structuring techniques like this, you'll be able to communicate much more clearly regardless of the context. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.